evening and welcome to the Business Roundup. My name is Maureen Babidie and these are the highlights. Government realigns its priorities for the forthcoming financial year. Insurers release their annual claims resolutions report. On the continental scene, South Africa hosts a convention showcasing the future of fintech. Thank you for joining us. Let's dive into it. In our first report, the Prime Minister Robin Anabanja this week tasked ministries, departments and agencies, among other stakeholders, to realign their priorities to inform the implementation of the tenfold growth strategy to grow the economy from $61.3 to $500 billion by 2040. This was highlighted at the conference that kickstarts the consultative process of the financial year 2026-27 national budget.
The financial year 2026-2027 is the second year of implementation of the tenfold growth strategy, well enshrined in the National Development Plan 4.
Uganda is fast becoming a land of inexhaustible opportunities. We must create out of these opportunities the future we desire and deserve. And should I say, we have the capabilities to make this happen.
Prime Minister Robin Anabanja revealed that next year's budget policies will speak to the realignment of government priorities in various ministries, departments and agencies, and priority areas of the strategy.
It is subversive for any leader to neglect investment in key sectors of energy, the railway, water transport, roads. On that note, therefore, the budget strategy aims at deepening the implementation of the stable foundation for sectors such as agro-industrialization, tourism, mineral-based industrial development, science, technology and innovation, including ICT and creative arts industry, and the enablers.
In the financial year 2024-2025, Uganda's GDP grew at 6.3%, and the strategic policy direction for financial year 2026-2027, guided by the aspiration to grow the economy tenfold, starts by doubling GDP every 5 years.
And at least 8% per year on average in the next 5 years. At the onset of commercial production of oil and gas in 2026, the economy is projected to register double-digit growth rates.
We need to boost our domestic revenue mobilization to achieve our targets and minimize borrowing.
We need to build a culture of integrity by setting standards and strict enforcement. It requires taking the errant to task, regardless of rank or status.
Next, therefore, is the issuance of the first budget call circular to give a detailed guidance to all programs and MDAs to start preparation of the financial year 2026-2027 budget framework paper. Cayenne Faith, Stephen Kalisia for ABC.
Now, the ESC integration stakeholders are calling for stronger coordination among member states at government levels in order to fully benefit from trading and operating as a bloc. These views were shared by policy analysts and technocrats at the inaugural public-private dialogue on mobility of business persons from member states in Kampala.
Despite progress like free movement of persons in some states, stakeholders urge the enactment and enforcement of stronger laws showing commitment to integration.
Two major items that partner states should now embark on. One is the renegotiation of Article 15 to do with the right to land. Land must now also be lumped into Article 5 of the East African Community Treaty as an integration agenda.
Lack of awareness among citizens of the East African Community states is a major barrier to foster adoption of this protocol.
I think national identity cards now in East Africa everyone has. Rwanda, Uganda and Kenya can use national identity cards. But even for Tanzania there are other documents Like we have the certificate of identity, which you get instantly.
East African community trade in services has grown 12% over 5 years, but fewer than 30,000 professionals move across borders annually, less than 0.01% of the skilled workforce.
The 4 countries allow the 5 categories to move, but you find another country like United Republic of Tanzania do not allow the inter-corporate transferees as well as trainers to move.
Some states under pressure to meet domestic targets have enacted laws contradictory to the Common Market Protocol.
Actually, you're right. Tanzania passed a law in 2025, actually 2 months ago, where it banned, it wasn't re-registering for 15 sectors, which is pretty interesting when you look at the sectors actually in detail. One of them is actually saloon. I mean, all sectors that actually have heavy foreigners, you need to follow. You can't be given a renewal of license, which that law is a sad day for the integration. That's definitely true.
The European Union, a key integration supporter, notes challenges in aligning standards but highlights benefits when states harmonize to international norms.
In Europe, the East African countries don't pay a single shilling in tariffs to export. That doesn't mean that everything can be exported because standards apply.
Uganda, Kenya and Rwanda lead in free movement using national IDs. Tanzania and Burundi require no visas, while newer members face governance and security challenges.
In more news, trust between insurers and policyholders remains a key driver for public confidence in the insurance sector. However, challenges such as lengthy claims processes and unclear claims resolutions underscore the need for stronger measures to enhance policyholder trust and improve industry practices. Charlotte Amuge reports.
The findings from the Insurance Appeals Tribunal investigative report highlight vague policy documents and inadequate claim support as some of the factors affecting public trust and confidence in the insurance sector.
We've seen instances of poor customer service. Someone has a claim, they are not listened to, they are not guided. Now you can imagine compounded with the issue, with the fact that insurance is very technical. People are struggling to interpret the policy, but then they lack the customer service. Some people just need to be listened to and and guided. But we've seen instances where the insured is a bit disconnected from the policy holder.
To address these challenges, insurers have been urged to carry out their work diligently and with integrity to support the growth of the industry.
We do encourage everybody who is involved in selling to be sure of the product he's selling, to be conversant of the clauses, exclusions and inclusions of that policy. Because if there is any mis-selling, we have already taken a decision as the insurance regulatory authority that that mis-selling should be determined against the insurance company, because these people are doing the work on behalf of the insurance company.
The investigation report seeks to improve policyholder trust, enhance industry reputation, and foster effective dispute resolution.
Our findings end up in recommendations. We do have interaction on an annual basis with the IRA just to discuss our recommendations for the good of the industry. So they should lead, our findings should lead into strengthened oversight by the regulator. We should see insurers getting their houses in order on those specific aspects that would identified, and then this will build public trust and confidence.
The Insurance Tribunal was established to foster public trust and inspire confidence in the insurance sector. Since its inception, it has received 51 applications, of which 41 have been concluded, while 10 remain at various stages of hearing. Charlotte Amuge for UBC News.
The third Deputy Prime Minister, Lukia Nakadama, has commended the Chinese government in their involvement and push towards the growth of Uganda's economic development, citing the importance of collective trade. we had a chance to interact with the stakeholders.
The government's intervention, together with Chinese investment in establishing regional industrial parks, extending electricity, and developing other infrastructure, is aimed at attracting potential investors to remote areas whilst improving local skills.
Continue expanding bilateral collaborations with China in key priority areas. Maybe I can give examples like modernizing infrastructure and reduce the cost of doing business, expanding electricity generation to power industrializations, promoting agro-industrialization to create wealth and jobs, enhancing science, technology, and innovation to transform our economy.
Zhang Lipeng cited an increase in the exportation of coffee up to 150%, an increase of trade value of $1.48 billion in the last years, and major infrastructure developments.
Among them, coffee imports from Uganda to China increased by 150%, and sesame imports increased by 132%. This has showcased that this preferential policy of zero tariff treatment has taken effective and has been very helpful to increase the trade and investment.
The business community is urged to build a clear rapport with the consulate to enjoy proper accreditation for different economic activities and related development strives.
98% of Uganda's exports now enjoy tariff and quota-free access to the Chinese market. When we go to education and human capacity development, thousands of Ugandan students have benefited from Chinese government scholarships and training programs. The young professionals are returning home with skills in medicine, engineering, technology, and other vital fields.
Nakadama appealed to Chinese investors to focus on linking Uganda to other formidable investors to support capital inflow. Nakadama wants these investors to support domestic industries with finance assistance towards value addition.
And the Global Civilization Initiative aims to address the issue of how to live peacefully among the different civilizations. We advocate for mutual respect, mutual learning, and common development through mutual learnings from each other's civilizations.
These engagements are expected to improve significant inflow of investors and improvement of direct foreign investment with proportionate technologies to impact the country's economy and livelihood.
Poor land fragmentation, bad terrain, and low levels of sensitization are some of the factors that have been cited to hinder agricultural productivity in the mountainous and highland areas of Uganda. This was revealed during the learning and sensitization of building resilience and inclusive growth of highland farming systems for rural transformation Bright project in Kishasha, Rubanda district. We have a report.
Kigezi region is one of the areas that contribute to the country's food basket, primarily known for producing potatoes. It is characterized by cold and rugged highlands with an altitude ranging from 1,500 to 2,700 meters. However, land fragmentation remains a challenge in the area, limiting its productive use, thereby calling for intervention.
They have very small land holding, very tiny plots of land. Land is fragmented, totally fragmented. And many people in these areas don't own these small plots. They just hire from other people. So, us as government, we are going to come in and sensitize these landlords that what we are dealing here, what we are dealing with here is food security for the households, food security for the community, food security for the nation, for the country.
To complement these efforts, Bright, a Dutch government-funded project, was introduced 3 years ago to address this specific challenge.
We have projects that work like Bright on sustainable land use, sustainable agricultural production and marketing, and we have 3 projects that work on access to finance for all farmers in all those different projects. We have a project that works on strengthening of farmer organizations in all those projects.
Fred Bueno Chakulaga, the State Minister for Agriculture, advises community members in mountainous and slopey areas to embrace the use of modern technology in farming to ensure good yields.
I call upon the communities affected to embrace these technologies that these people are bringing. Of course, they don't stop at just roads and terrace. They have solutions along the entire value chain, including even providing financial solutions.
The International Fertilizer Development Center is among the stakeholders working closely with local government, farmers, landowners, and agricultural financiers to establish robust agricultural value chains targeting farming activity on the slopes of Mountain Rwenzori, Mount Elgon, and the hilly areas of the Kigezi sub-region.
We train the farmers to enable them to supply or to meet the requirement by some food. So they'll be looking at the quality they need, the quantity they need, and especially the variety that they are looking for.
Challenges relating to poor soil management, disease, low yields.
Through the Bright project, over 106,000 highland farm households in Kigezi alone are projected to be beneficiaries. Wadulo Arnold Mark, Andrew Sebira for UBC in Rubanda district.
In our corporate wrap, the National Social Security Fund has recorded revenue growth of 26 trillion Uganda shillings in the financial year 2024-25, surpassing its 2015 growth projection of 20 trillion Uganda shillings. This milestone is credited to increased member contributions, diversified revenue streams, and effective cost management. We have the details.
At a media briefing, NSSF Managing Director Patrick Ayota presented the fund's performance for the 2024-2025 financial year against its 2015 growth targets. He revealed that revenue had grown by 26 trillion shillings, exceeding expectations set a decade ago.
We had estimated and predicted that by June 2025 would be a 20 trillion shilling fund. We're coming from a 5.5 trillion shilling fund in 2015. So we had basically projected that by June 2025 would be a 20 trillion shilling fund. We ended June 2025 at 26 trillion shillings, 6 trillion shillings higher than what he had projected in 2015. And a lot of it is really what you, the members, trusted us with in that case.
The growth is attributed to the shilling's strong performance against the dollar and regional currencies, as well as Uganda's stable economy, which expanded from 6.1% to 6.3%. Furthermore, member contributions rose by 10% from 1.9 trillion shillings in 2023-2024 to 2.13 trillion in 2024-2025, while earnings from the fund's real estate investments increased from 13.2 billion to 16.6 billion shillings.
The revenues grew by 38%, from 3.2 trillion to 3.5 trillion shillings this year. And this is in spite of where we're investing. We talked about the yields in Kenya were lower, but all this put together, the fund earned 3.5 trillion shillings. And you can see that our interest income went up from 2.34 to 2.88 trillion.
However, despite the strong performance, NSSF reported a decline in compliance, which fell from 57% in 2023-2024 to 52% in 2024-2025, leading to a reduction in member contributions.
It doesn't matter whether you have one employee, provided you are a formally registered employer, you're required to remit contributions for your employee, to register and remit. What happens if you don't? It is an offense under the NSSF law. and the consequences of non-compliance will follow.
Looking ahead, NSSF is set to roll out its next 10-year strategy, dubbed Vision 2035, targeting growth of the fund to 50 trillion shillings and expanding coverage to 50% of Uganda's working population. Charlotte Amuge and Rogers Komagum for UBC News.
The recently concluded Seamless Africa 2025 conference explored how artificial intelligence is reshaping payments, e-commerce, banking, and customer experience across the continent. CJTN has more.
The Seamless Africa 2025 Summit brings together the rapidly converging worlds of banking and financial services industry, the retail and e-commerce ecosystem. Recognized as one of Africa's leading gatherings for payments, fintech, retail, and digital identity, the conference aims to explore the future of digital commerce in Africa. Artificial intelligence, or AI, was the dominant theme here, with speakers noting its central role in shaping banking, e-commerce, and customer experience across the region.
Presently, moving money in Africa is like sending a fax. It's extremely slow, it's extremely expensive. And that's because of all the layers of intermediaries that are in the process. And then our aim after that is to connect as many African countries as we can to this network, because the brunt of transaction fees in the world are borne by Africans. If you're sending money from Europe to America, it doesn't cost a lot. If you're sending money from Europe to Nigeria, it costs you 8%. If you're sending money from Nigeria to Kenya, it costs you 11%. Yeah. You're sending money from South Africa to Zimbabwe. A lot of people have done that, right? Upwards of 10%. It's outrageous.
The heartbeat of e-commerce and the e-commerce ecosystem is technology. Winners engage customers and delight them with products of quality and reliable convenience. Our focus is clear. Build the tools, services, and partnerships, technology, logistics, and data and insights that help you build durable, loved brands.
Entities like FINCRA believe that for the digital economy to thrive, infrastructure is key. FINCRA is a payment infrastructure provider enabling seamless cross-border transactions across Africa.
What we need are the right infrastructure that makes economies work, right? And for Africa, I think the leapfrog that we need is not so much, and of course there's not huge fiscal infrastructure that is needed, rails, the right, shipping ports, etc. But what we need more of today, I would say, is the digital infrastructure, because it's a foundational layer where if money can easily flow in and out, right, then innovation starts to happen, then capital starts to flow more seamlessly.
According to a recent OI Capital report, Seamless Africa comes at a time of unprecedented growth in the continent's digital economy. The report ascribes the growth to a rapid adoption of digital solutions, rising smartphone penetration, and increased intra-Africa trade. OI Capital is an Africa-focused venture capital firm. Yudisa Njambela for CGTN in Johannesburg, South Africa.
Now, for this year, we have the main Employer of the Year award, but we also have a subsidiary award which is focusing on refugees. We realize that we need to pay a special attention to companies employing refugees, because they are not necessarily at the level where we want them. Decent work deficit is a major issue. Many still see them as a source of cheap labor. So standards are not respected. So we decided that we would focus on that independently.
SUVs are cars that combine features of passenger cars with those of off-road vehicles, offering a spacious interior and cargo capacity, along with higher ground clearance and capability for tougher terrain. In our Sounds of Business, The Isuzu X-Rider faces off against the Ford Raptor, both are 2024 models. We thank you so much for your audience, and we hope you picked a leaf or two to help you push forward. My name is Maureen Babidie. Good night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
The family of the late Professor Jacob Aniku and the family of Dr. Joseph Okia, Honorable Joanne Okia, with deep sorrow, announced the untimely death of their mother, Rebecca Mirembe Aniku, daughter of Matthias and Mary Rabuzisoni of Kawanda, which occurred on Friday, the 12th of September 2025 at Nakasero Hospital, Kampala. Vigil will be at the residence of Honorable Joanne Okia in Buziga on Sunday, the 14th of September 2025. There will be a funeral service at All Saints Cathedral, Kampala on Monday, the 15th of September 2025, starting at 9 a.m. Burial will take place on Tuesday, the 16th of September 2025, in Degia Village, Olali Parish, Ogoko Sub-County, Madiokolo District. Informed are friends, relatives, and in-laws. May her soul rest in eternal peace.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Ginshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
nateranga nyingiro n'abanafa ba MTN wanje MTN walololo MTN gamba to get the power to win.